pretty much really the only place I put it these days.
Okay.
Um, no, people might wander in every now and then. Hey, going everyone in the interwebs world. We got the Plum going here. I filled in this crack here, and this big bugger in here too, and covered it in painter's tape first, and then a bit of a stronger tape, cloth tape, because it's starting to really just chatter like teeth around here. It's really bad. So, all right, I've flattened most of that out, so that that much of the wall is done. Pretty much down to there. I've still got to hollow out. I haven't done much more in the base. I've still got to hollow that down maybe another inch and a half. Um, so, yeah, I stuck a mother load of CA in it yesterday. It's got a myriad of other cracks that you probably can't see on the camera because of my shit lighting. It's not like just here. I've put in a whole heap of CA in there last night, so it's had a good fair bit of time to cure, and then in there as well, and there, because no doubt this crack's showing at the top here. It's going to show down here too, so I might as well precautionarily stick lots of glue and wood shavings in there. Fingers crossed. A couple, all these little cracks that you see, they've all got CA and either coffee or wood shavings. Hey, going, Mike. We've got this big Bohemian thing around the corner here. It's that's the one I'll be keeping an eye on, to be honest. All of this part here is, if you can see that whitish look there, that is actually super glue CA. How you going, Chris? And wood shavings. Again, I tried to pack it in as much as I could. Might save a little bit of vibration and stuff. It's got a really nice purple streak that runs like right down, like a ring that runs right down the center of it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that stays in it too. And anyway, I'll shut up now. Let Dr. Bob do the talking now.
Well, hello, good evening, good day, good afternoon, and is it time to hit the pub yet? Unfortunately, can't do it. Just got out of the hospital here and I'm alive. Well, hey, thanks, Bailey. I appreciate that. You ought to join in. Let me go get the. Fortunately, I didn't get a new phone, but they switched my carrier, so it's a mess trying to catch up with what the carrier has done to my phone. Yeah, I must have had a million apps open today trying to get things straightened out here. In bed watching cat videos. Okay. All those that believe that, raise their hand. Any particular house that these cats are in? I'm not saying they're cat. These are four-legged cats. Like lions, tigers. Oh yeah, that volcano. I got a had a comment today sent to me about it, and there's an app that tracks all volcanoes in the world. Uh, and my sister, for some reason, that's something she has running all the time on her phone, and there's a lot of them that are going off. And she texted me this morning about the one in Iceland. Sleeping to a volcano. Okay. That's one thing that I have not seen up close is a volcano erupt. At least from scratch. I've seen some that I've flown over where the pilot says, "Look out on the port side and you'll see such and such a volcano." But that's probably 50 years ago. Now, I have heard from a couple of friends who uh, I've known that are, what do they call them, volcanists, or they study volcanoes. Uh, One of them was teaching out of the university in Hawaii, one of the universities I was at a seminar with, and that's all he studied was volcanoes. But what surprised me was that, yeah, there might be 40 volcanoes in some stage going off here on the surface of the earth, and a lot of them we don't see because they're in such remote areas, and their satellites will see them, but they're in remote areas. But there are 5 times more volcanoes going off under the oceans worldwide than there is on land. Vulcanists, right? A vulcanist, that isn't the person that vulcanizes your tires. I know I spelled it wrong once and I got yelled at for it when I was little. Unfortunately, when you get my age, you tend to forget things like that. But undersea volcanoes are much more prevalent and always have been over the ones above ground. And until we had satellites, we had no idea how many there were. Yes, live long and prosper. Yes, I agree with you that I like that. I used to get information from there, but they have an app. I think that you can put it on both Android and Apple. I know Android. I used to have it on my phone, and you could track certain volcanoes, and if they erupted, even though if they were quiet, it would notify you. A very sophisticated app. And it was written by grad students, and they put it in public domain. Hmm. Programming GPSs. Yes, yes. Earthquakes is another app. You got apps for everything today. I had a foster kid that I raised years and years ago that went to work for USGS, and as far as I know, he still works there. I lost track of him a long time ago when he got married and had kids, and then ended up with I think it was the wife and one of the kids. I forget which, but it's been 20 years ago. Uh, was in a serious car accident and passed away, and he kind of drew in and didn't talk to anybody anymore for so I've lost track of him. But he worked for the United States Geological Services. But he was on the map side. It looks like you're doing a good job at hollowing there with your new tools, Jay.
Yeah, I haven't even tried the hollower out yet. I've been using this thing, this little weapon.
Oh, nice point on that thing. And you got the side edge that you can use too.
Yeah, that works
And
good
that's
for
a
end
40
grain.
degree? No, that's bigger than 40-degree grind.
60 or something, 65.
60? Yeah.
Right, yeah. I think I'll have a look. Yeah, 65. 65 it is.
Yeah, Joker. Yeah, I have that app. I have an app where you do that. Because of the GPS in your phone, it can place all the stars. Come on, Joker, log in so we can chit chat. I haven't looked at your ugly face in a while since I went to the hospital. Though I did follow every night that I could because the late night nurse that went around 11 o'clock at night would always wake me up, so I just stayed awake. No, no camera on your phone. Got a tip for you, Jay. Uh, Next time you're at an auto parts store, find yourself one of the parking light or backup light or whatever small single LED type automotive light bulb for your car,
Yeah.
and get just a socket for it to hold it. If you don't need a big socket, just, you know, get the socket with the two wires out of it.
Yeah.
And then if you've got an old cell phone charger, transformer, hook it up to it, because 5 volts, you don't want 12 volts. Most cars are running 12, at least here, but you don't need that high because it'll be too bright. The smaller light you can find, then you can actually put that and aim it into it. And now what I've done is I've taped it over with some duct tape and put it together and stuck a magnet so I can actually stick it on the back of the tool rest.
Oh yeah.
Well, the front of the tool rest aiming towards the headstock. So you can
Yep.
clip it in there somehow and it'll light up the inside really nice. And they're cheap. Or you can go to the store and pay $30 for the same thing. If you have an old charger of some type, because
Yep.
all you need is 5 volts to power them at half brightness.
Yep.
And that might be too bright. But
Yeah,
that'll light up the inside for you really easy.
I've got a lot of LED battery powered like 10-pack LED lights around. I might see if I can wire one of those up to the back of the. Then it's just a battery pack that can just sit under the lathe.
Yeah, it's just if you put the light on a magnet, and then when you're doing heavy coring and stuff like that, you don't want it there. It'll be in the way.
Yeah.
But then if, like you're doing now, you're doing delicate work inside where you want to make sure where that point's going, you can stick it on the beveled part, or find a place to stick it on the bottom of your tool rest aiming in.
Yep. Where to you it looks like a shadow, but I can see right in there with this light here. That's pointing right in there at the moment. It looks like it's a shadow.
It looks like a shadow.
No, yeah, it's pointing right in for me. I'll turn it off. See how dark it goes?
You can see the difference.
Yeah. So that I do appreciate the suggestion there, Dr. Bob. It's I do remember seeing them around in videos and stuff.
Yeah, and they want $30-$40 here, and I think I paid all of $2 or $2.50 for a light bulb, a little LED bulb that I hooked up to an old USB device.
Yeah, easy enough.
Yeah. And when I do deep hollowing, I actually have a light that I will take and tape to my bar, my hollowing bar, and tape it up so as it clears the rollers in my support system. Yep. And that's why I can go 24 inches deep and still see at the very bottom, because I can take a light and aim down in there. But that's usually in my way when I want to look to see where the light's going. So it's easier to have the light right on the hollowing bar.
Yes. Yes.
And I've got a endoscope, the type of stuff that the little fiber tube, and you have to pick it up, and
so you can look under the kids' doors to see what they're doing.
Well, I've used it several times for cleaning drains, because they got attachments with a hook, especially when you get a lot of women's hair in a drain. And you don't want to take a plunger and push it down, because then it'll catch somewhere else. So you want to send down, with an coat hanger. That's what my dad
Yep.
taught me. So you go down and you can hook it before it gets, out of the trap. But in this case, the endoscope has a light on it that has a battery pack and a TV camera too. And it cost me $25 online. And
Yeah.
the neat part about it is it actually has, it has a Wi-Fi transmitter
Yep.
in the end of it where the battery goes, because those things are micro miniature today. So, and you charge it up when you're not using it. When you're done, you turn it on, and I just take and put that on my boring bar and make it stick out there, and then turn it on, and then you log into the light as a network source because
Yep.
it's a very low power uh, network. So you log into it and you light the end of what I'm doing, and at the same time it's aimed right at the cutter, and it has a camera showing me what it is on my phone
Yep.
or tablet. I have my tablet logged into it so I can see right down in there, and I don't have to bend over and stare in to see something. But it does take a learning. And it's just the fact that I'm used to doing stuff by touch and by feel. And I'm used to looking in to see what I'm doing, and now I'm looking at a monitor, and the camera and light is, you know, on the end of the boring bar 2 foot in.
Yep. Yeah. Um, I don't think I'll ever have to go that far inside a vessel. Not on this lathe,
No,
anyway.
no, that's true. But I like deep hollowing, and right now during COVID, I've always done urns that are pretty good size.
Yep.
It's a nice jar, but the thing is I've been trying to do more artistic stuff, different stuff. It's I've seen other people do this stuff online, and heck, I do it too. Except I use the tools and figure out myself how I want to do it,
Yep.
and that's kept me
Yeah.
going sane.
Your video is glitching out a little bit there. It froze for about 20 seconds.
Well, I
Your audio.
just had, yeah, I had it popped up and it said that I had a virus, and it asked me if I wanted to get rid of it, and I said yes. So it paused
Did you
everything and
did
cleaned the
you, did you
virus out.
tell it? Did you tell it you've had the vaccine and it's not possible for you to have the virus?
Thumbs up to you.
All right, I'm going back on mute for a sec, unless you want to hear the noise.
Incandescent lights, LED. Well, Joker, a good place to get LEDs like that isn't eBay. Well, eBay will have them, but I go to other sites that just sell the stuff right from China. There's a lot of them out there that you have to wait a little to get them, but and often shipping nails you. That's how they make their profit. But I get them there, or I was able to get, and it's an LED bulb, and I forget what cars they go in, but it's not a bulb. It's actually four little LED squares, two on each side, and it was for a dome light in a car or an instrument panel light, really small lights. Uh, Not big bulbs because you want them as small as possible. So you look in the auto section for really small lights. Uh, but that's where you end up having to put up with having a socket unless you solder it directly to a pair of wires. But I think my LEDs were 4 LEDs on a stick, and they come down so they actually, the stick itself had the contacts on it that plugged into a socket. So there wasn't a socket that we're used to with most light bulbs. The end of the stick that had the LEDs, a printed circuit card, had the 2 tabs, one on each side of the car, one on each side of the circuit board. And I just soldered directly to those. Some telephone wire, really small telephone wire, and then took it back and connected that to my charger. Wow. That's the type of LEDs you string around a room or on the back of TVs behind furniture.
So, Dr. Bob, I get
Yes.
how you going, Robbo?
How are you? Sorry about being late. I've been at the chiropractor.
Ah,
And I'm
okay.
going to knock my camera off in a minute because I'm eating. So, but I'll be
Okay.
listening.
All right, Dr. Bob, I got some red gum bell from Robbo's house. Some
Yeah.
blanks cut up for me. That's the bowl, the inside
Wow.
of it. And I pyroed the outside of it.
Oh. So now you got something worth about $70 to $100 or more.
Yep.
I wouldn't price it under 100 for anything with the pyro and the wood.
Yep. And then
'Cause I know I'd pay that much for it.
and then I turned it into a funnel when I took the tenon off of it. All right, so there's the where it come through there. So I
You
put
don't
in.
tell people. You just say
No,
that's part of the design.
That's fine. It was on my live. They would have seen it anyway. So I put that's coffee and
Yeah.
CA, and then on this side I put wood shavings and CA, and then over as a last final coat I've put coffee shavings over the top so that I can sand the top of the coffee back and leave a black finish in
That's
there. When
gorgeous.
I just got to sand that bit off there. I was going to let the glue dry properly.
Yeah. I'll tell
And
you,
then,
out of all the stuff I've seen you make, that's above all of them. You're an artist now.
It's nice, isn't it? I like the wood. Definitely like the wood. Yeah, so I made up a couple of different tips up so that I can make like that's meant to be the grass going along there.
Uh-huh.
And then I had a different one that I made up that so that I could do the grassy bits there.
You make your own tips for your pyrography pens?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the type of that it is that you have to. And that's called a black boy tree. That one, it's not dead on. It's just a young one, all right.
Did you sign the bottom? I didn't notice. Or put a logo on it that's definitely you?
I don't think I'm going to keep that as the bottom. I think I'm going to make up, get another bit of wood and turn it down to a disc that's the same diameter as that, and then pyro the outside and the bottom of it so that it matches this black rim here, and put it on the bottom just to kind of get rid of that. And if it gets dropped, I reckon that'll be the part that pops out first. So try and
I don't know.
make
I like the way it is.
just a neat base, nothing too big. Just, yeah.
I see you also heard that you got tools from your godfather.
I got
I've heard you got a hollowing tool.
I've got a giant butter knife.
Oh, what
Look,
a beautiful scraper.
yeah.
Wow,
Robbo's
it's
must be
thick
spitting his
enough
lunch.
to do some good.
Robbo's must be spitting his lunch out because I called it a giant butter knife.
I know you do that to tease him.
Yeah, someone has to, eh?
It makes you feel younger.
I got this small tool here.
Hollow. Oh, that's nice. Does the handle need to be filled with buckshot and sealed to
No,
give you some stability?
no, that's fine.
Okay, because all of mine, I try to have solid handles. It stops the vibration and easier to hold.
I don't think I'll do anything big enough to get a vibration.
Nodal vibration. One end will vibrate and it'll cause the other end, the whole shaft to vibrate.
I have to go and stand outside to show you the length of this tool. I'll tell you, Robbo's must be laughing because it's half the length of my shed.
Oh, a hollowing tool.
And then a couple other bits there.
To make your own, or are they already
No,
ground?
they've been shaped already. This one is about a centimetre off from being the length of my lathe bed. That funny or what?
Well, you need it. If you're going to do anything deep, and also
Yeah,
having it longer, it gives you better balance. And
I've got to get used
when
to
I use long tools, I put them under my arm.
it.
Maybe I'm weird about that, but if I'm going to be going deep, I actually put them up under my arm this way when I'm doing it.
Yep,
And then it keeps the vibration because your arm is a dampener. It helps
yep.
cut down vibration.
I'd end
And
up with a
also,
sliding shoulder from that.
you can feel the vibration because on the tool rest, that's where your other hand is holding the tool down on the tool rest, and that's the tool rest is absorbing it.
Yep,
But you're also getting nodal vibration off the end of the handle. So that's why I go under the arm. It keeps it from vibrating, but I also can feel it vibrating.
yes.
That's just a trick I picked up some time ago. I had an old friend of mine. At that time, he was old. That's how he taught me real quick because I was doing it wrong. I let the tool stick out too far. I wasn't using the handle for what it was designed for,
Yeah,
as he said. It's not so you can stand at a distance and poke at it. It's to give you support because your whole arm is part of it now with an overhand hold to it. You're a lucky young man. Yeah, that's on the tool you're using. You can feel the vibration because the fulcrum is so close to where it should be, close to the cutting edge, but the rest is vibrating and you can't hold it solid. That's where an overhand hold, so it sits under your forearm. But that takes getting used to that, but that helps
The,
absorb that
the,
vibration.
the only thing with this piece of wood is I'll get my other camera and I'll show you is it's actually got the pith is rotten and it's just off to the side a little bit, and that's what's making the tool jump right down in the center there. It's a bit um, see that down there?
Oh, yeah. But that'll dampen it if you're actually holding it under your arm. Not
Yeah,
under the shoulder, but
handle's not
under the
long enough.
bottom. Yeah. Well, even a few inches of it would help absorb it because it's just bouncing and you're holding onto it with the other hand.
That goes all the
And
way down.
and like I
So,
said yesterday, you need to be using a scraper now.
yeah, it wasn't working very well though. It was just
Uh,
getting annoying, so I went back to that. I did give it a go.
Evening, Robo.
How are you, Bob? Feeling better?
Oh, yeah. I didn't feel bad. I mean, stupid thing put me in there. They thought I was going to have a stroke. I had
Yeah,
the signs of having a stroke, but only when they looked in my eye. They found plaque in a
yeah, I know.
capillary in my eye. So,
Yeah, you explained it all last time. So,
yeah, a sign of a stroke, but I felt good. Unfortunately, our VA hospital here doesn't necessarily have bathing beauties for nurses, at least not night shifts. Daytime, yeah, that's students. But they sure know how to make you smile and laugh, and that's the one thing I like about the nurses. Because they had me pretty scared with all these tests. And of course, when you ask, how was the results? The answer was, we don't know. We
mm,
can't read them. We don't know what we're looking at. So it wasn't until Monday about 1 in the afternoon they came in and showed me them all, brought them up on the TV in my room. They were able to log in with it and go over and show me some of the pictures and say, well, you're doing pretty good. Just this heart monitor. That's all we need you to wear for a month. But it had me scared.
oh, I imagine it would have you a bit worried.
Especially my age,
Oh,
because
that's right.
I've had friends go in because something little, and then you go and it's turn and earn for them in a week or two.
Yep. Well, I've been pinched, poked, prodded, pricked for my back, so on my side at least. So I'm feeling pretty good at the moment.
Doesn't mean you can go doing silly stuff though, all right?
No, I know.
Hmm.
We're not as young as we think we are.
You know, Mike, I break all the rules on my negative rake scrapers. I don't worry about angles too much. I just grind them to where I know they work. In fact, people are horrified by my negative rake scrapers, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I don't run a burr on the miter. I'd take that off.
Yeah, I was all into that. I had a little block that had metal pins, and you could put burrs on stuff, and then I got thinking that, hey, within about 30 seconds, the burr is gone. So
It's
what's the use?
even less than that. But no, I've always taken the burr off. Main reason is that I had a bowl once that after about 6 weeks I started to notice rust spots in it, and what had happened was a little bit of the metal had come off and embedded itself in the wood, and the moisture in the wood started to rust it after about 5 or 6 weeks. And I figured the only place it could come from was the burr. Different for cabinet work when you're using cabinet scrapers.
Yeah. I never did any of that cabinet work seriously. I made some for myself and I've helped others. But when I was younger, I did a lot of work like that with friends to help them with their house. And I started at a young age because my parents bought the house that the second house they owned, uh, big ranch house. Not That's what they call them here, if it's single story,
Yeah.
and had a full basement. But the people who had bought it went bankrupt before they could finish paying for it, and it was semi-custom built. They just say this is the outside walls. Where do you want rooms and how big? And then they finish it for you. Uh,
Yeah.
and in this case, the people went bankrupt before it was finished. It was all sheetrocked, but it didn't have kitchen cabinets to speak of. They had, so a family, my grandfather, who was a full mason carpenter, he came over and I learned a lot and we made cabinets. I helped them. But at the time I was like 13, 14 years old, and he was an SOB. Got to do it this way because that's the right way.
Jay,
So,
just give us a look at the end of that scraper for a minute. Oh, he's sharpening it, I'd say.
yeah. That's the only cabinet type stuff I've ever made that
Jay,
had to look nice.
Jay, just give us a look at the end of that scraper for a minute.
Oh, you want to see it? You want to see it after I've put it on? You could have see it before.
No, I just want to show Mike the angles that I run at it. Is that the one that's really raked right back?
It was.
Give us a look. Yeah, turn it around on the side. Okay.
See you later.
Yeah, no, that's still not as much as I normally put on them. I'll go and get one of mine and show Mike. Wait on.
Oh, sorry. Now I'm making bloody Robbo get up.
It's all right.
Yeah, I like mine steeper than that.
Right. I'll just put myself on full camera for a minute. That's just a round nose scraper, but I've got to turn it around that way. See the rake I put back on them?
Wow.
And this is my elliptical one, which is my favourite one. And I put the rake right back on those. So that edge down there is razor sharp, and it cuts like nothing on earth.
How thick
And
is the bar stock?
That the round nose is just 8mm. The other one's 10mm.
Yeah.
The elliptical one's 10mm.
I like the beefy ones. That's what I got to get. To
But
me,
again,
the thicker the better, the less vibration.
Again, it's just personal preference sometimes.
Well, to me, it's the vibration, being able to hold the tool steady and not have it vibrate. From the long end of the tool, the handle.
Yeah, I don't do much bowl work anyway. As a rule, I'm more a spindle turner.
Yeah.
Real turner.
I heard that when I was in the hospital, I just watched most of the time on internet because we could get it right on the bedside TV that you could pull down and move around. It had internet available, and I was watching wood turning. Waiting for meals or tests. That's all there was.
Yes. Yeah, skews make a very good scraper. A good negative ray scraper.
Good bar stock.
And that's why that's how my scrapers developed, from using the skew chisel actually as a scraper, because I thought, well, if it cuts well like that, why not put the angle on scraper instead of these stupid bloody 15 or 20 degree things? Just really rake it right back so you get a nice sharp edge on it.
Hollowing with a point tool? Unless it's a very small diameter, I don't see hollowing with a point tool. That could really get you in trouble.
Yeah. Do you know that I don't own a point tool? I really don't see any need for them, but I use skew chisels a lot, so
The only place I use a point tool, Robo, is usually on the bottom of something if I want to put rings in the bottom.
yeah,
That
well,
way I have it's a diamond point or a three-sided point tool.
yeah. Well, see, I use my skew chisel for all that.
Yeah. The point on it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I never thought of that. I've learned that from you. Even though my grandfather was a production turner, in watching him, I have to say, watching you turn, and that remind me of everything he ever tried to teach me. Except he had a very vivid language to call me if I made a mistake.
My apprentices would say that sometimes.
Well, I gained a vocabulary, but not a vocabulary that my mother felt was appropriate for a 14-year-old boy, at least not in public.
No,
Where
well, that's
she didn't
right.
have to hear it, that was, she couldn't get mad at me over it. But I knew better.
As I said to my children when they were young, I said there is shed talk, and then there's outside talk. Don't let me hear you saying the shed talk, outside the shed.
Well, yeah, I agree, but I couldn't use it outside. I couldn't use it in his shed.
Oh, well, no, I
If
frowned
he
upon
was
it.
there, all right. But if my grandmother was around or one of the other people that worked for him who was a tattletale, uh, I couldn't.
Yeah, well, that's appropriate language for appropriate times.
Yeah. But I come up with the phrases that even I get mad at someone in the playground in elementary school and haul off and get to them because they were doing stupid stuff, or worse yet, taking other friends of mine who were swinging and run up and grab the chain of the swing to make them fall off and laugh. And I'd let go once in a while, but it was unique because the playground teacher that was there didn't know what half the stuff I was calling them was. And I didn't either because he was Irish. I learned to repeat it, not knowing what I was saying.
How you going, Blair?
Hey, Blair, you letting him in on me?
I did.
Hi, gentlemen.
How you going?
The voice from afar.
Yeah. Condolences, Blair. I hope everything's going all right.
Yeah, it is. Funeral is next Friday, so
Oh, yeah.
I just dropped Tammy off at her mom's place, and that's a good ways away. Hold on just a second, guys.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work midnight.
Well, at least you didn't make it M6 and then it couldn't fit in the M5. Oh well, it's going to be about a 10 or 15 millimetres shorter than Mike when you tap a new thread on it. Ah, see, problem solved.
Yeah, JB Weld is really fantastic stuff.
I'll read it out for Jay so he knows what we're talking about. I invented some new swears today. Mike, this is. I invented some new swears today when I put a brass tip on my knockout bar hammer and threaded it for M5. The cap nut I converted to a tip was M6. So you had to put it on with JB Weld. Is that a two-part epoxy, Mike, or just one part?
Sorry, had a phone call.
That's all right. Yeah, you probably get a few of them, I dare say, over the next few days.
And I'm eating, so that's why I'm not on camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was late today and had to do the same eat on the run, so I'd have to turn the camera and the microphone off because it's not a pretty sight.
And really, truth be told, if I turn the camera on, it's still not a pretty sight anyway. So there it is.
We are what we are, and that's the way it's meant to be.
Ah, look at that. That smiling, happy face.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
turn off the camera. I have to admit, though, I have missed you guys.
Sorry?
I have missed you guys.
Ah,
And Bob, I'm glad you're out of the hospital and you're doing good.
Well, thank you. I'll know more in the morning because I got this phone call just about 4:30 today, and I missed it. It was from the VA hospital. My my unit that I go to in the firm, local firm, basically a doctor's office, and from my provider's assistant that needed to talk to me and to call back ASAP, and when I got it, they were already closed. So it could be results of a test, or it could be an upcoming video meeting I have to have with my principal provider to go over all the tests that were performed. Because I asked if they could explain it to me, what they were looking at.
Yeah.
But they found it was negative enough, other than this thing here, which is a heart monitor they stuck to me with a panic button. So if I feel I have a problem, I hit it and it timestamps it, but it's good for 30 days of 24/7 recording of the heartbeat. And like a geek, I asked several people, how do you get that much time and memory and everything in there? And it's, well, we know what it should be, and it simply reports what should happen and time date stamps. The differences between the, what they call them, I forget, between each time something is not normal for me. It'll monitor normal day, normal sleep, and then it goes into a mode where instead of just storing all night me sleeping, since it has a pattern of what normal should be, anything abnormal after that first night is what they report. That way they keep the memory down.
Yeah.
But if they find a lot of stuff going on, then it's always recorded, and this thing is tied to the cell network, and it'll report. It's odd I carry a cell network device on my chest.
Now,
too.
what you want to do, Bob, what you want to do is go to a strip club
and have a heart attack.
and
Well, at least get an elevated heart rate. That
Yes.
will really throw them through a loop.
Oh, yeah. Haven't been the one since I was in my 20s. And that was for mostly bachelor parties.
yeah, I'm the same.
That was the big thing then.
I agree with you on the yawn.
Yeah, 11:29 here. Been up since 6:30.
Yeah, don't take this the wrong way, Blair, but you look pretty knackered.
I look pretty naked.
Knackered, buggered, tired.
Yeah, it's a long drive to her mom's place, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it was snowing and raining, and yeah, I'm tired.
Has Sarge been in and out, or is he tied up?
No, he's been having long days.
Yeah. He was on for a little while yesterday.
Ah, look at that.
I like the pattern in the bottom. What is that? Just punky wood?
Yeah, that's where the piff is.
Yeah, it's artistic to me.
That coloured streak, that's purple.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty much ran all the way through it, and then it runs up the side a little bit there. I'll put it on the top, right on the top there. It runs up just up the side ever so slightly.
So did you feel those cracks?
Yeah, they've got. See, they're filled in. I did that when I got back from Robbo's. I did that. That was the first thing I did with this blank and that's pretty much solid there now with CA and Same with all through here. I dropped glue down through all of that there yesterday. And that one there too.
Oof, that one's deep.
Yeah, it's pretty much. And then yesterday when I was doing this top bit here, it was chattering a lot. You see all the cracks there. They weren't there originally, so that's why a bit of precautionary tape on there.
That's wise.
Oh, getting seasick.
I can't.
Earthquake.
I can't see me getting or turning too much more plum, so I'm trying to preserve it as much as I can. I've got one more piece of it, and I'll most probably end up maybe trying to do like a winged bowl or something out of that, because it's the same size as this, the blade. But I've just got to, can you see? Might be able to see with that camera now, but there's a groove right there.
Yeah.
I can't get it out with the scraper, so I might see if I can sand it out, because it's not much, but it's just it's curved a little bit more than what just that little bit more of an angle than what the scraper does, so I can't, and I don't want to go taking too much more out of the bottom, because that's what I've just been trying to do for the last 5 minutes, is trying to get that transition line. The transition's all right, but it's just above it, it's got that slight groove in the wood.
Yeah, just attack it with some 80 grit and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And then I've got, you can't see it, but right in the middle I've got a tit. And that's right where the piff and everything is. So what I use a skew to get that out, Robbo?
Yeah.
I don't really have that. I suppose that hollow would be too violent, wouldn't it?
Well, you could use a round nose scraper as well to get it out, just right on the tip of the round nose scraper.
Yeah. Oh, you mean this thing? Pointy Bob? Pointy Joe?
No, the round nose scraper.
The one you were just using.
No, the other one.
The other one?
Yeah. One that's shaped like a thumbnail on the end. About an inch wide.
What do you mean, this big bugger? That's not a scraper. No. All right.
No, wait on. Give us a look and just let me have a look. Let me have a look for a minute. No, that's a spindle gouge. You can use it as a bowl gouge as well. No, you've got just a plain round nose scraper.
I mean, like this my dunga one?
Yeah, that one.
That'll work.
Yeah.
The El Cheapo set.
That's what El Cheapo sets are good for, because you're always putting a new edge on them and you're not wasting good steel.
Just work on the tit, otherwise you're going to end up with a big hollow in the middle of it.
Yeah. The tit's a bit bigger than you think. Got big boobs, man. Come on. Got
Get
any
rid of it?
projects? Yeah. Got any projects to take your mind off things, Blair?
Oh yeah, I brought home a whole bunch of wood that I may attack tomorrow. I don't know. Just depends.
Yep.
Um, do you know what box elder is, or have you heard of it?
Yep.
I think it's box elder. Has some pink going through it, and it was a old log that has already lost its bark and all of that kind of stuff has been sitting probably for years and years, and so I'm kind of excited to dive into it.
Is it small enough to cut on your bandsaw?
I've already cut it up with a chainsaw, so it
Oh,
should
yeah.
just be right on.
Cool. You're going to
We'll
do that in
see.
your life. Made myself some liquid beeswax.
Oh, cool.
It's not actually
Yeah.
really that hard to make, to be honest, which
How
doesn't
many
surprise.
bees did you liquefy for it?
About 100,000.
Exterminate, exterminate, exterminate.
Yeah.
Yes, Doctor Who.
What did you make it out of?
It's just well, the original mix was beeswax and mineral oil,
Okay.
right? And it's basically just a paste, right? See,
Yeah.
and then I just added a buttload more mineral oil and about a quarter of a jar of this mix in there, and just shook the crap out of it, and done. It's basically how much of that mixture you add is up to you, really.
Yeah. Have you used it yet?
No, this will be the piece that I tested on, because I only finished making the batch this morning. So.
Gotcha.
But I made this one yesterday, and then I made this one here's got less oil in it the day before. It was just experimented with different batches, and you definitely need double the oil to the amount of beeswax you use, or even triple. But any mineral oil's good. It's got no fragrance, you see, so it's just mineral oil.
Yeah. Yeah, I buy baby oil because it has to be here really pure, and no additives that could hurt a baby. So
Yep.
it's cheaper to buy it that way than it is to go to a big box store.
I was looking at that blower that you've got, Robbo, that little that mini blower. I was looking at them. I think I might buy a cheaper version. Yours, to buy a brand new one of yours, it was $420.
Yeah, I know. But, oh, you know the reasons I have to buy things like that.
Mm-hmm. And my reason would be because it's much smaller than buying a compressor and a cyclone and all the tubing, and just buy a little mini blower.
Well, a hairdryer works as well, you know.
Yeah, I've got a heat gun.
Well, if it's a powerful heat gun, that should be all right. Should be about the same strength.
I bought it, so it's most probably not.
Good day, Dave. How are you? Portal Woodworks is coming.
How you going, Dave? How are you? Woo!
Can't tell you.
Flying paper. Is that a sanding pad or sandpaper sheet?
Just a sheet.
Yeah, what grit is it? It looks like about 36.
120.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Robo, do you break your paper before you use it?
No, mine's all cloth backed. I don't have to.
Oh, that's nice.
And yes, I've already done that.
It looked awfully stiff for being broken.
Wait.
No, he did. I saw it. I was watching him when he was at the back there.
I did it yesterday, so it's all good,
Yeah.
Dr. Bob. I do that.
break mine on the I break mine over the edge of the lathe.
Yeah, I do it on the bench there.
So many people don't, and abrasive people love it if you don't, because you use more and they make more money. Well, I'm glad you woke up out of bed to come watch.
Hi, Shay.
G'day, Shay.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Dave. Oh, Shay decided to come hang out with the cool and popular people. I get it. Thanks, Shay.
No, she needs a sedative. That's what it is. So she watches us and goes to sleep. You know, by doing that, Blair, you've got Jay's immediate attention, don't you? He's like a bloody dog.
Sorry, still have the munchies.
Shay reckons she doesn't have to watch us to go to sleep. She can watch scrolling for that.
Hypnotic,
As long as-
having that thing go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
watch
just
the
gotta
bouncing.
make sure you stay alert so it doesn't do it to your finger.
Watch the bouncing blade. You are getting sleepy.
Sorry, Chris, what are you talking about? Explain to me what you're talking about with the sandpaper. I haven't heard that. Heard what?
Oh, breaking the sandpaper.
What you do, I'll just put myself up on full camera for a minute.
By the way, Chris, I really like your sculpture for the water, for the challenge. You did a great job.
Right. Chris, what you do is you imagine that this is sitting on a bench like this or your lathe bed, and you get the edge of the lathe bed across there, and then you pull it down tightly over the edge of it a couple of times just to break the bonding a little bit in the back of the the paper. That's all, and that's called breaking it.
Yeah. I do it in both edges,
Yeah,
right or left, both break it both directions.
yeah.
It makes the
Doesn't matter.
sandpaper last longer.
What it does is open up the pores a little bit in the sandpaper, so it lets the crap out of it easier, and it makes it a lot more malleable to use too.
Yeah. After a while, I have I don't know what you call them in Australia, but the rubber uh, erasers, the big ones you use.
Yeah, we
For cleaning sandpaper.
clean our belt sanders and our drum sander with those.
Yes, I
They're
do
called
too.
belt cleaners. You can't use them on normal sandpaper. It's just you can't get it going fast enough to clean it.
What I do, and maybe it doesn't work, but at least the ones that I have a couple of big sticks that I've got one anchored to with a clamp to a piece of wood, and I simply take it the same way, flip it over, dirty side down, and run it back and forth over the edge of it, and it will take out a lot of the sanding dust for me when I'm working on something. And it helps clean the sandpaper up. I mean, the other alternative is a brush and compressed air, but I can take and clean a piece of sandpaper up so I don't have to throw it away as quick. I'm cheap.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. They do.
I also use the eraser that I've got anchored to a piece of wood. Is that when I'm using power sanding with a 2-inch rotary, I'll often hit that with it real lightly, and that'll clean some of the embedded dust out of it. Because it's really hard to break a little 3-inch disc, but you can do it. You're just breaking the adhesive on it. It's much more flexible.
Yeah, I must admit we use cloth back paper for most of our work, so
Yeah.
Do you guys
I
like
use
the
cloth.
mesh sandpaper?
I've never had much to do with it actually, Blair. I have used a bit of it, but it's not economically viable for us.
I've used it for drywall, and it works great for drywall, but I've never used it for woodworking.
Yeah,
I use it. I have it from 80 to I think 1200. And I've used it, and the neat thing about it is it's if you get the industrial or the heavier duty stuff, I have cheated because I've used the set eraser again and run it over it, but I also hit it with an air hose.
good night. Good
And
night,
when they
Chris.
get too,
Good night, Chris.
yeah, night.
Jay says
I've
good
been
night too.
known. I've been known to take the paper or the mesh and actually leave it in the rear pockets of my turning smock and stuff it full in there and then throw it in the laundry because the water isn't hot enough to hurt it, but it sure cleans the sawdust out of the mesh. Maybe I'm cheap, but I've got some that is maybe a year old. But when I bought it, it wasn't cheap.
Can't hold on to it, can you, Jay?
Just got to get away with it.
Well, the sawdust is filling in those cracks nicely. That's good.
Yeah, I'd almost be tempted to run CA down them
Right?
with the sawdust in it and then sand it again.
Yeah. I had somebody yesterday, Blair. I got a package in the mail with black CA, thin, and black CA medium, with a note, give it a try to see what you think. Don't know who yet, but I'm sure I'll find out.
I linked up with Starbond.
That's what this was.
And I'm frozen. Interesting. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, my video's frozen. Weird.
We can hear you.
Nope, I'm frozen. It must be a sign.
Still
Just refresh.
shot.
Yeah, we'll do that. I signed up with
For fuck's sake.
with Starbond, and they sent me a freebie with all of their CAs, and I've only used the thin, and I am completely sold. It's good stuff, and it has some of that black in there, and I'm anxious to use that.
Yeah. And Mike thought you were practicing your ventriloquism act. I've never tried that actually, Mike, putting carpet tape on the back of the silicon oxide paper.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try that. I got the carpet tape, but got a roll of it. Somebody asked if I wanted two-sided tape, so I said, yes, I'll take another roll. And found it interesting because of the way the tape is made with the cross fiber or some sort of artificial fabric worn or threads through the tape.
The glue repels from the sawdust. It's quite literally just going whoop, moving away from it.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a minute to midnight here.
Okay.
Thanks. That looks all right.
Yeah. That's what I've done today. Something somewhat productive.
All right, guys, I'm going to knock it on the head. You guys have a good night. We will see you tomorrow night.
All right, Blair.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
See ya. See
Bye.
you around.
Well, as often as Jay is online, he ought to find a sponsor for CA because he uses it artistically. I wonder if they make CA there in Australia or that's all imported.
Not sure. Couldn't tell you.
Because it's not hard to make.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't make it yourself. You need a good lab to make it in.
It's a radio shoe. It's just radio shirt.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry. Amber comes outside and says, "Come and take a look at this." So, I'm a bit busy. Whew. Might have to step outside actually and avoid these CA fumes.
So you don't want to get high on it?
No,
Yeah, that
not
hurts your brain, though. CA is
Yeah,
bad for your brain.
wrong type of high, eh? Really?
Yeah. I was told by a doctor, because they use CA for surgery all the time, is when you're using CA to actually breathe through the nose more than through the mouth because you take in less air with the CA fumes.
Yep.
And you have nose hair and other things that help collect for the molecules to stick to it. It's safer for you. And I've
Yep.
heard people say just the opposite. So I don't know which is right. But
Whichever makes it smell less, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's done.
I remember when the fad was sniffing glue, but that's back in the 60s. You get high on certain glues.
Yeah, there's a certain group of people that used to do that here too. I don't know how much they still do it, but go and buy some carpet glue or something like that, and just walk around holding the pot up to their nose.
Yeah. Well, if it gives you a buzz, this people will try it, but if
Yeah,
the buzz has to be bad for you.
oh yeah, chemicals definitely. That's for sure. Amber's just we got a Thai basil bush, and it's about 3 foot tall, and it's about 6 foot round, and it's got flowers all over it, and the bees love it. And you can't really see the pollen, obviously, but because the flowers are so small. But the bees that are flying around, all their pollen sacs are red like my t-shirt.
Huh.
So I would assume that's the color of the pollen on the Thai basil plant. We've got a date palm in the house next to us, and that's flowering at the moment. So there's like half a beehive all over
Yeah.
the flowers.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the fruit of it is sweet.
So then it's they come down from the palm tree down to our basil that's pretty much underneath the palm tree. Maybe you should. It's bedtime for Dr. Bob.
Yeah, probably should be. I've been up a long time. I was up at 6 this morning.
They're going to look at your heart monitor after the 30 days, and they're going to go, now, can you explain to us why between 10 and 12 at night your heart rate,
Yeah, I should. When I get yawning, yawning is really a sign of lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
So that means your breathing is slowing down.
Yep.
I found out though, being in the hospital, they had me with a full heart monitor with all the stuff stuck to me, and it had to wear it, and it dropped in my pocket. And it was also wireless. It went in the pocket because that was the wireless transmitter. And somebody was watching. And I didn't know it until some night about 10 o'clock. I was busy watching YouTube, watching you.
Yep.
And this guy comes in and he says, you've got a contact off. I need to check your monitor. And yeah, one of them had come undone. So, and I asked, well, how do you know? He says, well, we have a monitoring station. He said, we're monitoring 70 some people here in the hospital right now.
Yep.
Okay. But they had a full-time intern doctor, already was a doctor, but that was his job to monitor all these people.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine it'd be like a security room with all these monitors up there where you could see it. But he said no. He said the computer takes them all in, and if it sees an aberration, it pops it up on one of the screens in front of me, and
Yep.
I can watch it along with the patient's name and room number. And I had lost a lead, and it had shown up that way, so he came up and put the lead back on and went back down to his little room.
Fair enough.
That surprised me. I thought it was just recording. Nope, being watched on. Oh well, that'd be pretty boring to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Well, I probably see you tomorrow night. I've been up since.
All
I've been
right.
up.
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming in.
Oh yeah, I have missed joining you, but when I start yawning, it means that my metabolism is slowing down, and it's time for me to go to bed. At least that's what they
Yes.
told me.
Yeah.
It was a
All right.
good sign. Either that
Yes.
or open a window to get more oxygen.
Oh,
Good night,
Robbo's
all,
back.
and I'll be back.
Yep.
Catch you later, Robo. I gotta go.
There. He's gone. No, can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
I should be able to hear me now.
No, I still can't hear you. Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. All right, fine. I was going to throw you on the ground anyway. Blah.
Jay,
Yeah.
when you're holding your sandpaper, do it like this. Right on. Put your 3 or 4 fingers on top. Put your thumb underneath like that and curl it up like that and put your pressure down on the fingers and keep your thumb off the work. That way when the work's coming down there, it's not hitting this sharp corner.
Yeah.
And it saves a lot of scratches and it saves being thrown everywhere as well.
That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing, kind of like that.
Yeah, but curl it up more. Move your don't pinch it between your thumb and your forefinger. Move your forefinger back so your thumb curls up around the front of it. Like that. That's it.
I got little girls' hands, they don't reach.
They don't have to reach right down.
Put your dust mask on.
No, CA's got to me.
Better give me that chocolate back.
Sorry?
You better give me that chocolate back. Chocolate! Got some pretty gnarly marks in it. I'm going back to 80 grit, I reckon it's starting to shit me off. Trains are coming. Just a little bit of pitting there, see?
Sorry, Joe, what was that?
Oh, it's just those pits here I'm trying to get out.
Oh, yeah.
Only in that one spot. A little bit on the opposite side, but not heaps. I've had enough for today. It's giving me the shits.
Well, you've been going for 2 hours anyway, so.
Yeah.
See you later, Mike.
See you, Mike. Just me being impatient, I'm going to put some metho through it and have a nosy at it. Do you have to go into the city for your chiropractor, or is it local?
No, just up to Cranbourne, that's all.
Oh, that's all right.
No, little Vietnamese fella.
Yep. Yeah, it's not too bad looking, that look, actually.
Seems to be coming up all right. Geez, that red comes up well.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of purple in there, that's for sure.
Yeah, the camera doesn't really pick it up.
Nothing's easy around here, do you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big patch right in the bottom of it there.
Yeah. Up there too. Up goes right up the side.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably looks better in real life than on the camera, but the camera's
Yeah.
picking up a bit of it anyway.
Yeah. Little bit of colour up here too. Not heaps, but yeah, surprised at how much purple it's actually got in it. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to knock it on the head. Thank you very much for coming in.